which one is better, a shower gel or a soap bar? That is the question here. For the most time of my life, I've been using a shower gel. It's the normal thing to do, right? But there are some things that made me change to these old-fashioned soap bars. And if you want to know, keep on watching. Right, so first off, what exactly is a shower gel and why I'm not using it anymore? The first thing that's pretty obvious is that liquid soap is mostly packaged in plastic. On the other hand, soap bars are packaged in cardboard boxes or even package free. This is already a big argument for me to switch to a soap bar because I can reduce waste and the use of non-renewable fossil fuels that are needed to make plastic. The problem with plastic is that most of the times it ends on a landfill, and actually in Switzerland most of the waste that we produce is being incinerated, but incineration is not like the best option that's available because either way this plastic that has been produced from a non-renewable source is being lost, so it's not coming back anytime soon, or like never. So this is like something we are putting energy and resources into something that is never coming back. This is not a sustainable way of thinking and not a circular approach. So actually one of my next videos I will delve into the problematic of recycling, and if you want to watch this, just make sure you subscribe to my channel, you don't miss out on this. Packaging is one thing, but it's not only about superficial stuff, right? The fact is that this liquid soap contains a lot of water just to make this solution. And the question I ask myself is, why should I buy something that increases in volume because of this water that is pre-diluted and so needs more packaging because of this volume? It just doesn't really add up for me. I do understand the comfort of not having to rub this bar between your hands, but you just can squeeze it out and wash yourself with it. But that's also the reason that people, most probably all people, are using too much of the shower gel, which is also not efficient. This also leads me to the next point here. It might seem that a soap bar like this is very expensive because most of them are like natural and organic and whatnot, and they seem quite expensive, but I have to say they last forever, like really. I'm mostly having like one of these bars like half a year or more even, so this is really efficient in comparison to like traditional one, like I call it traditional one, but it's not traditional, like the ones we use all the time in a plastic bottle. And that's also because we tend to use much more of this liquid because it's just much easier to squeeze it out and spill and all this stuff. So this is really something that, yeah, that also doesn't make like economical sense for me. It just becomes more expensive when you use like a shower gel. Another really great thing about the soap bars is that they're so convenient for traveling. I've not been traveling a lot since I used ones of these because, yeah, of the current situation, but it's just like a soap bar cannot spill into your bag or something. There's no possibility of that. And the other thing is also they're quite small, so they can fit anywhere. And the last thing here is also that you don't have a problem if you're traveling by plane because it's not a liquid, so it doesn't go under this category when you go on a plane. A very important argument is also the composition of a soap. A lot of liquid soaps contain really questionable ingredients that are either not good for your health or for the environment. For example, they may contain synthetic polymers that go under the fraction of microplastics, and yeah, they can be released into the environment via the wastewater, which is, as you probably know, not really good for the environment and for different animals. Another thing are the PEGs, polyethylene glycol, and these are also synthetic components that are very often in like soaps and other beauty products. They're really a component because they allow to absorb the ingredients more easily, but they also weaken the barrier function of our skin. This is not something that is really great. There's also much more to say about this that I cannot explain right now because I'm not an expert for first, but also there's a lot of controversies about this, so this is not really like a bad or no bad thing, but for me I just like to avoid them because you never know what it can cause. So I just think things like that if you don't really know what it is and what it can cause, what harmful things they are, I think it's better just not to use them. It's also very important to check all the composition of a soap, either it's liquid or solid, because yeah, when you read the composition, you know what is inside. You can also use some kind of apps where you can scan the products and then see if they contain some harmful components. And also, even if some products say they are 100% natural, it's not always the case actually. So this is really something important to look at products in general. And also, it's not for sure like 100% that a solid soap has to be natural. It doesn't have to be, but the chance that they don't have like really questionable ingredients is much more or less likely. To summarize, I wanted to give you a little overview of what we've discussed in this video, and there are of course pros and cons about both the liquid and the solid soap. This comparison is really like based on my experience that I had over the past, I know, like 1 or 2 years that I've used soap bar, and also my research about this topic. So these are really like things that I think are really important, but are also quite generally recognized. So for the shower gel, a pro, and probably the only pro here, is that of the handy usage, because you don't have to rub the soap, you can just squeeze it out and you're done. For the negatives, the plastic package, of course, I don't think they are really efficient and economic. Then they contain unnecessary water, and most of the times they have doubtful ingredients. For the shower bar, they are very long lasting, mostly zero waste or at least plastic free. They're practical for travel. They have mostly natural ingredients, and the one negative point that I found here is that you really need to get used to handling it because it's not the same. This is like my little comparison really about these two types of soaps. For me, like the biggest pro of a soap bar, and this is also like the biggest reason why I switched to it, is that it's not packaged in plastic, mostly cardboard or nothing, and it is like a really sustainable way of washing yourself. So I just really think this is a really great thing, and if you haven't already, I would really recommend you to try this out. So yeah, we've just arrived at the end of my video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and I wish you a very nice week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!